Hey watercolorists, this is week 1 and from next week things will be a little different. But this week I didn't start filming from the word go, and I did end up doing a lot of stuff before deciding that I'm going to be making this series. So let's start with everything that I have made so far. And before I go further, I want to tell you that all the courses that I referred to inspiration for all the paintings I made, books, YouTube videos, etc. that I recommend, links to all of that will be in the description, and the Skillshare courses part is divided into 2 parts. One is must-do courses, which I feel like are the very basic courses and will give you an idea about, well, the basics. And the others are ones that are not necessary, but they are important and can teach you a lot. Honestly, I'm only including the courses from which I feel like I learned something and which I believe are unique and not repetitive. I did do courses other than these as well, but they probably had information that is already included in these. So all the courses in the description are good, and again, like I mentioned in the trailer, this is not sponsored. It's just that I find Skillshare to be very useful to learn all of these things in an economical way because I live in India. And most of the courses by artists, the individual courses by artists or courses by art academies, stuff like that, they are way too expensive for me. So this is the best way to go about it for me. Now let's begin with the courses and some of the pieces that I've already done. The first course that I referred to was Sketchbook Practice Back to Basic Watercolor Fundamentals. It's a very short course and basically teaches you how to test your paper and understand how different effects will show up on it. And it's a really good course, and I do think that you should start with this one, because understanding your material helps a lot, and a lot of times you can feel frustrated when you're not getting the same effects as the artist is getting, and sometimes the reason is that their paper and their material works differently than yours. After this, I started Modern Watercolor Techniques. This one is a must-do. It teaches a lot of basic things like pulsing and how to make lines with brush, blending, understanding your palette, using different effects like with salt and inks, and you get to make some pretty pieces as well. It gets really boring if you're only focusing on the technical stuff, at least for me. So I like mixing my learning with doing some practical things which turn into pieces that I like. And that shows me how much progress I'm making, and I really enjoy doing this galaxy painting. And the flower one basically taught me how art can be made even using a single paint color. I need to practice my lines more. I am not really good with making fine lines and my hand is not very stable, but I had a lot of fun doing this one as well. There is another one included in this course which includes jellyfish, but I haven't made it. I am keeping a list of all the paintings that I'm supposed to make or I want to make, and I'll be doing these later. Another really important one is Make a Splash. This one is also a must do. It's Make a Splash Get Wild with Watercolor by Dixon. This one includes a lot of basic techniques. It teaches you how to use materials like salt, tissue, straw, bubble wrap. It also teaches you about some basic terms like blooms, mingle, merge, blend, dry brush, etc. There might be some overlap between this one and the previous one, but both of them are really important. This one ends with us making an abstract piece, and also this includes some great tips for making abstract art with watercolor. Another course that I want to recommend is a very short course. It's called Quiet or Riot, Color Communication in Your Art. If you're someone who struggles with choosing palettes like me and wants to understand how colors can change the effect of your artwork and how to use Adobe Color, you should definitely check this one out. The next one was such a fun course. It led to me making this really nice painting, and it basically taught how to use negative space. This is something that I find very fun, especially in watercolors, and it's definitely something that I want to explore more on my own. But this particular course is really fun and easy to do. It's an excellent resource on using negative space and monochrome painting. This is my week 1, so I have a few more Skillshare courses to go through. I find them the easiest, so I want to begin with these, and then I'll move on to some YouTube stuff and some books. With books, I'm just gonna include the names of ones that I think might be useful based on recommendations by other people. I'll put a star in front of the book that I myself am referring to because I'll only be referring to those which are easily accessible, not too expensive, or are available at the library. This week I'm going through Basic Color Theory book. It's a very basic book and has a lot of technical stuff that I believe I need to know, and I am taking a lot of notes from it, so it's definitely useful and you can refer to that one. Another book that I have already gone through is Everyday Watercolor by Shannon Layne, and it's really useful and you can definitely pick it up at this stage because it's for beginners. I have already gone through it, so I won't be going through it in this week or in this series, but I definitely recommend it. So today is Wednesday and I'm starting the day with another Skillshare course. This one is by Dixon, and I am realizing that this is another one of those very basic courses that I should probably have done before the other Dixon course. I would ideally recommend this to be the second course that you do after the one in which you understand your materials. I got to practice more lines and brush control, which is something that I want to practice more and more of. It includes stuff about transparency and how to create solids and blends and different washes, and also teaches you about warm and cool primaries, though I have another course about color theory which is so good, and that's definitely one that I would be doing later. I finished the Dixon course and I thought it was time to take a coffee break. It's super hot, so it's cold coffee time. And I thought I would show you what I made. I basically just ended up practicing a lot of lines in different forms, and I did want to mention that, you know, sometimes exercises like these help you look at things which surprise you, help you create things which surprise you. So for example, I never thought these two colors would look amazing together, but they kind of do, and now I wanna do something with these two together. So I just ended up practicing more of my lines, and I do think I am getting better at it. I was really bad the first time around, and this is some more stuff that I did for the course. I didn't end up making a lot of stuff. It was more theoretical, so I ended up taking a lot of notes, which are super useful for me. And yeah, now I'll be doing more color theory stuff, and I'll be going through the book that I'm doing. I have linked it in the description, and I will be taking a lot of notes. This one is about textures, even though I primarily decided to do this one because I wanted to practice brush control and movement. I think it can also help you create a stock of patterns which you can refer to when you want to be inspired. You can experiment with different color combinations and designs while doing this. I really enjoyed creating these patterns while listening to an audiobook. It ended up being a meditative experience. As far as this course is concerned, it's not necessary, but it's definitely useful and I would recommend it. I'm gonna leave you with a fast forwarded clip of me making these, and I'll see you tomorrow. So it is Saturday and I didn't give any updates on Thursday and Friday because I was busy working on a massive acrylic painting, and other than that I was working on color theory. I went through 2 books and I'm not entirely done with them, but I have done quite a bit of them. And I have to say that both of these books combined are really good. One of these is general color theory and the other one is more focused on watercolors, and the best part about this particular book is that it goes into detail for every single color that is generally found on the palette. For example, for yellows it goes into detail about a lot of yellows and about things like how they work, with which colors should we mix them to create more colors, granulation ability, whether they are warm or cool, transparent or opaque. So I highly recommend it. I do think that in the beginning don't try to remember everything because I was putting pressure on myself to do that. Today I'm mostly focusing on this course by Ana Victoria, and it's also on color theory. I have been doing quite a bit of color theory work in the latter half of this week, but I think it just helps, and honestly, contrary to popular opinion, I have been enjoying it. A lot of things that are in this course are also a part of the books that I have been using, but it involves more doing, so I think that part is fun and that also makes it easier to remember things. And I would actually recommend every course that this artist has made because all of them are really good, so you can definitely do this one. I'm gonna end the day by making this abstract painting that is a part of this course, so you'll get to see that, and I'll see you towards the end of the video. So this is all I did for week 1, and I think I did almost 10 courses, and the ones that I recommend are named in the description. I also finished one color theory book, which is a very basic book, and it was good, though I prefer the other one which is more specific to watercolors, but I haven't finished that one yet. What I didn't do this week is any YouTube tutorial, so next week I'm going to be focusing on a lot of those, apart from some fun Skillshare courses which involve more painting and less theory, because I do want to have some fun with paints next week. I spent a lot of time going through the books this week, and that's gonna happen next week also, so this will help break that monotony that can come with color theory books, even though I do enjoy them. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next week. Bye.